Hi readers, welcome to your IDR Check-in, your independent daily reading check-in, where I give you helpful hints and I give you something to focus on and tell you about the discussion board on Friday that you're going to have to answer. All right, so today I want to talk to you about thinking about what you like to read. That is one thing that good readers do. They really know the kind of books that they like to read. And this is why it's important. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your books. Mrs. Bates and Mrs. Bellaterra have asked that you shop for books and you keep them for a week so that you can practice getting better and better at them. We read books more than one time, many times here in the classroom. All our Making Meaning books go over more than one day, as well as shared reading books. And there's a good reason for that. The more you hear the story, the more you understand it. The more things you might have missed, you can dive deeper. And that's why we make sure we stay with our books for about a week. But it can be really difficult to keep a book for a week that you didn't really take the time to think if you liked it or not. Here in the classroom, that can be more of a challenge because we have lots of books to choose from. And sometimes you just see like the cover and you're like, hey, that looks good, and you just put it in your book box. But then you go to sit down and is way too hard to read, or it doesn't really have the pictures, or it's not about what you thought it was about. So it's really important that when you shop for books or think about the books that you're going to be reading for the week, that you really think about what you like, because that's going to really help you enjoy that time and learn more. All right. I'm going to go over some different kinds of books and some different kinds of things to think about. All right, so the first kind of book that you can look for is a topic that's interesting to you. So obviously I'm a teacher and I love all things school. So I like to read books about school, about teachers, about students, about things that happen at school. Like this book right here, Miss Nelson is Missing. This is a good one about a teacher whose class is misbehaving and what she does to help them to appreciate her more. So I like to read books about school. That's the kind of topic. I also like to read books about a character. So sometimes the author will have a good character and they'll write many books about them. This book is about Arthur, and he's even a cartoon I'm sure you've probably seen. There's tons of books about Arthur, and this one kind of really hit home with me, the computer disaster, because we're always having technical difficulties, right? And we're e-learners. All right, the next thing you can do is a favorite author. So you guys know that I just love Mo Willems. Well, he doesn't just write pigeon books and piggy and elephant books. He writes a whole bunch of other different kinds of books too. Now this one turned out to be one of my favorites, and not because it's funny. This one's called City Dog Country Frog, and it's by Mo Willems. And it's really kind of about friendship and about changes, and it's a little bit sad too. A little bit of a departure of what I'm used to for Mo Willems, but I still loved it because I like him as an author. So you can look for books of your favorite author. You can also do book recommendations, right? So Mrs. Bellaterra told me about this book. It's called The Book with No Pictures, and I was very excited to get it this year. It's by B.J. Novak, which also, if you probably don't know this about me, or maybe I've mentioned it before, I probably have. I really like the show The Office, and B.J. Novak is a writer for that show The Office, so he writes one of my favorite shows, so it would make sense that he would write a book that I really love. Maybe I'll read this one to you one day. It's pretty cool. So Mrs. Bellaterra told me about that one. So a recommendation from a friend is just a friend saying, I really like this book. I think you might like it too. You should check it out. She also told me about the Dragons Love Taco series. I have both of them. I never would have known about those books unless a friend had told me about them. And then lastly, you can choose nonfiction books. I never get tired of learning, and I never get tired of nonfiction books. Even if the words might be a little bit too hard for me to figure out, they always have amazing photos and diagrams that can help me learn even if I can't read the words. So I picked one on sea otters because, oh my goodness, aren't they just so cute? And you can flip through and Just like so cute, right? Let me find a good diagram for you. Here are the different parts of his body and what they're used for. And look, I can look at this picture really quickly and see, oh my goodness, those must be the things that sea otters like to eat. I usually see them laying on their back, floating in the water, eating like a sea creature, but I didn't know that they ate sea urchins or crabs. Sea urchins look very spiky. I also picked up another one because even though I do love to read about animals, I look for things that I have connections with. Like over the summer, we went mining or panning for gold, or gem mining, I guess. And you get a bucket of dirt. You may have done this before, and you put it in like a little sifter thing in the water, and then you get really cool gems. And my boys are obsessed with them, and I'm going to be taking them and getting them smooth and making into some jewelry. But this book is about rocks and minerals, and that reminded me of the gems that that my boys found. It came with a little piece of paper so we could identify which ones we had. And I saw something really interesting in here called the rock cycle. We have a water cycle where, you know, it's rain clouds, and then it rains, and then it's on the ground, and then it evaporates and goes back to the clouds, and it goes around and around. I didn't know that there was a rock cycle as well. So I love to learn things, so nonfiction books are great for me. So I really want you to think hard about the books that you want to read for a week. I really want you to pick books about things that you like. Characters, authors, friend recommendation, nonfiction things that you want to learn about, okay? And for IDR for this week, you're gonna be bringing one of the books that you chose. You are going to tell us why you chose that book. You are going to say why that book is interesting to you, and you're going to tell us what you liked about that book. And don't worry, I will put all those questions in the IDR discussion board so you'll know exactly what to answer. But remember, I want videos, and go ahead and watch your friends' videos and you can reply to them too. All right, happy reading.